I'm Kitty and I'm one of the community ambassadors. I wanted to be a community ambassador because theatre's always been such a big part of my life, and growing up as a young person it was like very much my safe place and the place where I kind of figured out who I was. And so getting more young people into the theatre so that they could also experience that was really I was really passionate about that. And when I read about the community ambassador role, it seemed to be kind of inviting people to do exactly that. I think the highlight for me would be bringing along the whole of Newham Music's musical theatre singing club to come and watch Lovestruck the musical. They came with their parents, and like a lot of them had never been to Stratford East before, or most of them I think, and yeah, they were just like so excited. And I think a lot of them live around Stratford especially, all of them live in Newham, and it was just so, I think they were really inspired to see like a big professional working theatre and production on their doorstep basically. And I think a lot of them didn't know that it was here and that those kind of shows were coming to Stratford before, and they were very, very excited about it. The open day was definitely also another highlight. I couldn't believe how many people came and how like vibrant and joyful it was. Newham Music brought along lots of instruments, and we were there for about 3 hours, and the flow of children just didn't stop. Like all day kids and their parents were coming along to try out the instruments, and again a lot of them hadn't had a chance to like hold a real violin or play like a big full-sized guitar, and so they were like super excited, and all of them expressed that they like couldn't wait to do more music. So yeah, it was such a great day. Especially at the end when the choir performed and everyone was in the auditorium and everyone was just like spontaneously stood up and started dancing. It was just, I felt like I was in a film. I felt like I was in the end credits of like a rom-com. It was such a good day. The favourite show that I've seen this year would probably be Animal Farm, because I studied the book at school and I always enjoyed it, but to see it like it was, I still think about it quite a lot, that just how vivid the design and like the costume and there was something about it that I've not seen in any other production. I think the fact that it's kind of like a children's book, but then it was like, obviously it's a whole metaphor, so it's so much darker, and it was so impactful. But I did also love Lovestruck because it was like I cried in a story that's essentially about something like it's quite a silly story, but it literally like I had a tear in my eye at the end. So it was, I loved that. That was very, very fun. Yeah, definitely. I think that it is, it's got such an amazing history and has been here kind of showing, most of the shows are so like politically engaged and feel so relevant to the people that live in this community. I think it's kind of like a little jewel in Newham, it's probably the only theatre of it. It's the only theatre of its kind in like the local areas, and I think having something like this where people travel, like yes, the local community comes here to watch theatre, but also people travel from all over London to come to this theatre, and so I think it feels so great for the community to have something like Stratford East to be really proud of, that it's like something that brings people to Newham, and really represents the communities that live here. I brought some people who had never been to Stratford East before and had also never been to the theatre before, and when they came to watch The Women of Llanrumney, at the interval, they just started walking to go home because they had literally never been to the theatre. They didn't know that theatres had, like, shows had intervals. And they were like, yeah, that was really good. And I was like, no, there's a whole other half. Like, you've got to come back. And they were like, what? We get to have another hour. Like, they just had no idea. They'd literally never set foot in a theatre. And it felt really moving to be be able to kind of facilitate that, and for them to be like, I cannot wait to come back, and they wouldn't have been able to afford to come otherwise. So yeah, that was also a highlight definitely of this year. This theatre feels, really special because it's felt so. I've always craved something where I meet people from different parts of. I feel like as a young person in Newham, it's very easy just to like meet other young people in Newham. Like I don't really have, my parents don't live around here, so I don't have kind of, their friends. Like I kind of felt just like I knew other people my age, and I really craved something where I felt part of a community where I was kind of, like had friends who were of all different ages and all different backgrounds. And like that's really given, that this has given that to me, definitely. Like a sense of kind of, like community here. And it's, I live a 15-minute walk away, and to be, as someone who like loves theatre, wants to work in theatre, wants to make theatre, like to be able to come and see like the quality of shows that come here, a 15-minute walk from my house is just so special. And it's really helped me, like I moved to Stratford last year, and it's really helped me like find my feet and kind of given me like, I know that there's going to be cool stuff happening here a lot of the time, and I've met really great people. I'm very grateful to be part of Stratford East.